Greetings to you from wherever you are. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, a lot is going to happen on the show tonight, but let me just keep it on the wraps for now and also allow my partner, Austin Okon-Akpan, come in as we look set to talk about interesting things happening in your fast-paced, money-spinning world of sports.
Lots of greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. It's good to have you join us to talk sports in London. I'm Austin Okon-Akpan. Yeah, so much going down in our world of sports. No surprises here with the sacking of Ronald Koeman. I think we all saw that coming. But in England, everyone is waiting, itching, wondering, when will Ole be out?
I guess that they might have to wait for a while. Probably the owners don't share the sentiment, but I do agree with you. We saw the handwriting on the wall for Ronald Koeman. We knew the delay was only because of money. And at some point, maybe the eggheads just thought, no, this can't be happening. You can't be losing to Rayo Vallecano. And so they have allowed him to go. And that would form a major part of the show tonight. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get expert opinion. We're going to rub minds. And we're going to look at all of that. And also, we'll come home to talk about some things happening at home and some of the other issues. And from your hand, there's also Anthony Joshua in the news. We're going to talk about Anthony Joshua as well. You know, he has not allowed his loss to Usyk get him down. To me, I feel he's been doing the right thing. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. But Austin, quick one, let me quickly bring Bolu Omoni into the show tonight. Greetings to you, Bolu. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show.
Yeah, good to be again. I think it's a good time. I like that most or majority of the part of the show is not focused on Nigeria's forces, because if we focus on the gallows, the MBBF drama, we'll probably not end the show today. But again, the hammer blow on Ronald Koeman, it was a matter of when, not if, and unfortunately, he got the exit door after the, well, that's a terrible performance and the loss of Rayo Vallecano. But again, it's good to be back here again.
All right. That's it. But let me throw this in quickly because we have some things lined up. The blame. Some people say it's unfair. Yes, Koeman has his faults. But look, it was a poisoned apple from the start.
Well, based on what he has on ground, he has his fault. He has his players over time. Many fans, including the board, believe someone like Ricky Pug has some things to offer, and he told him point blank, "You're not part of my plans." And the boy doesn't want to leave. Go on loan. He said no, he doesn't want to go another year. So he has his issues as well. But like some persons will tell, no matter how much you blame the manager, look at the players as well. I gave an analogy of Real Madrid. Their transition was a bit easy, kind of. They let go of only Ronaldo, kept the core. This season, they let go of Ramos and Varane, who didn't really play much last season. So they are going step by step. Next summer, Marcelo is going, Modric will likely go. So they are moving bit by bit. But it feels like Barcelona is doing everything at once. Piqué old, Busquets old, Messi gone. So it feels like the turnaround is happening. But transition will always happen. Galacticos, it got to a point they had to leave. So, and unfortunately, Koeman is one at the end of the sword. And now the next man coming in will know there's something bigger than what people will tell you is Xavi has done well, tiki-taka, but tiki-taka may not work anymore because there's no Xavi in the squad, no Iniesta, no Messi. All those guys that formed the core of Pep Guardiola's team are not here. Who knows? Maybe that's why Pep Guardiola said, I'm not coming back to this squad.
Okay. All right. Bolu has given us his perspective. I'm very sure Austin will give us his as well as we get set for that interesting interview to help us get some perspective into all that is happening. So, Austin, I don't think I've heard your thoughts on this. The only thing you said so far is that the handwriting is on the wall. Yes, but did you imagined, or did you think that it was going to come immediately after the loss to Rayo Vallecano?
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona is a big team, and the club is going through so much. So there's no room in any way to tolerate whoever is not ready to bring in results. You could tell by the sort of contracts that are even giving to young players and the sort of clauses that we're seeing, 1 billion if you want to come close to any of their players. This is a club that is ready to, to rebuild, to move ahead, to forget the Messi era, and confirm their superiority as giants of La Liga. So with the results that Koeman was giving, I knew it wasn't going to last, This is a big team. And look, it was gone right after that El Clasico. The Rayo Vallecano was just so. Let's just give him one more game to play. There's so much tied around a Real Madrid and Barca fixture, particularly the Camp Nou, and you fail to win. That's just all you need to tell the board to sit and then find a way to move on. So I said no surprises for me. I knew he wasn't going to stay long on that job because of what Barcelona is going through. But let's put a clearer perspective to this conversation. Let's go to Spain. Bruno Bagareche is a sports journalist with La Liga TV, standing by to give us more as regards Barcelona, the La Liga, and the sacking of Koeman. Sporty greetings, Bruno. Good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Hi, Austin. Thank you very much for having me, and congratulations on pronouncing my difficult surname. You did it absolutely brilliantly. Awesome.
Good to have you with us on the program. Let's talk about this sacking of Ronald Koeman. Is it a justified one, or is just Barca still suffering the post-Messi fever?
I think everything you've all said here sums it up perfectly. It's all sort of the aftermath of the terrible management that came from Bartomeu, the previous chairman, the previous president. The fact that Ronald Koeman had a clause in which if he was sacked, they had to pay him off 12 million euros. It's not an everyday thing that you see for a manager to have that kind of clause, especially a manager who's not as tested as Ronald Koeman. So the only thing that was keeping him out the club was the financial struggles of Football Club Barcelona. You could see that there was no feeling between him and the president, Joan Laporta, the new president who's come in for his second spell. And the other thing is that the fans and the media did turn on him. Of course, he is a club legend. He scored a winning goal for a European Cup back in the 90s, but he was too complacent. He would come out after games saying, "Oh, this is all we've got. This is all we can do." You can't say that when you're Football Club Barcelona. You're one of the biggest clubs in the world. You can't be complacent. You can't come out after losing against Real Madrid and say, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. We played okay." No Barcelona fan is going to be okay with that, losing at home to Real Madrid. That's never good enough for Football Club Barcelona. So it was one after another. It is true that he was handed a bit of a poisoned apple with regards to the squad, with Leo Messi not being there, with recruitment not being brilliant, players coming in who haven't responded, the likes of Coutinho, the likes of Ousmane Dembele, who's always injured. So maybe it's a bit of both. He could have got a bit more out of the squad, but I do think that the Barca fans do have to give him credit for having brought through a lot of the youngsters that we're seeing now. Nico, Xavi, Pedri, Ilais Moriba, who moved on to Leipzig. They all came through thanks to Ronald Koeman. So there have been some positives from his tenure at the club.
I know so much to get out of this, but definitely Barcelona is still going through a major shake-up, and we'll be hoping to get some stability. Club legend Xavi has been mentioned in the media. Is he prepared? Is it the kind of coach that they need to steer the ship of a big club such as Barcelona?
That's a good question. I think he's a figure in terms of what he represents for the club that will steady the ship with regards to the fans calming down, the media calming down. Everyone's been asking for his name for years to come in. It's always been a matter of time for Xavi to take over as the manager at Football Club Barcelona. And I think they want to replicate the formula that worked so well with Pep Guardiola, who he himself was a club legend, who came through very young as the manager, and people thought he wasn't ready to take over the club. But it's a difficult one because he's taking over a club that's got a lot of problems, that isn't playing good football. As you say, he hasn't got a vast career as a manager. He's only been managing in Qatar, which isn't a top quality competition. So there are a lot of question marks regarding that. Is it right for him as well? You take over now at Football Club Barcelona, things don't work out, and where do you go from there? But I do think that he's got a couple of things that will work. As I say, it's very important to have the media on your side, either at Football Club Barcelona or at Real Madrid. Very important to have the fans on your side. And finally, he likes to play the kind of football that they love in Barcelona. That famous tiki-taka 4-3-3, all about possession, all about being on the ball. So, I mean, it's the perfect fit, but it is a good question to see whether or not he will be able to float in such trying circumstances.
My colleague in Lagos is waiting to join the conversation, but let's talk about the leadership of the club itself. Is it faulty?
Oh, yes. it was terrible before, the era of Bartomeu, the era before that. It's been years and years of mismanagement, which has led Barcelona to reach the situation in which they are now. Their financial struggles are well known. They sold Neymar for a lot of money and didn't know how to invest that money. And then, of course, they had to let go of Leo Messi this summer because of their problems. Joan Laporta came in. He's been the most successful president in the history of Barcelona. He was at the helm when they won all those titles with Pep Guardiola. And I think a lot of people thought that he was instantly going to change everything around just like that. And the problems are much deeper than that. And he's struggling as well to find solutions, to paint over the cracks, really, because they are very deep cracks. And I think all those years of mismanagement have caught up with them, and they're going to feel the consequences for a couple of years now. And that's why it's so important for the academy to produce players it's always produced, because they're not going to have the money to go into the market and compete with the big boys in Europe. They're going to have to produce the players like Xavi, as I said, like Nico, who have come through, and they're going to have to respond. But you're not always going to produce 10, 11 world-class players. That doesn't always happen like that. So it is going to be a difficult couple of years for Barcelona.
All right, Yemi in Lagos here. Thanks again, Bruno, for joining us. Let's talk about the interim manager for a while. We're getting carried away with Xavi. Xavi's in a club. He has a contract. His contract is till 2023. So he has to get out of that first. But Sergi Bergwijn also is a Barcelona legend, a Spanish legend. Everything you would want from Xavi, he has it as well. And we've seen a lot of interim managers who've gone on to become the manager. So what are the chances of Sergi, and of course he's training Barcelona B now, it's more, to me, I think he has a bigger role than Xavi. So what are his chances of getting the role if Xavi's situation gets a bit problematic?
Yes, you're absolutely right to say that he is a Barcelona legend. He was there for many years. He was a brilliant left back in the Spanish national team as well. Like Xavi, not much of a distinguished career as a manager. He was relegated with Mallorca in the second division. He went over to China, but yeah, he's at the club. He's been working with the Barca B team, which means that he knows a lot of those youngsters, which I was saying before, that are so important to bring them through. But what I do think that Barcelona are looking for here is to make a bit of a media impact as well. That's how it works at clubs which are with presidents that are elected. It's like a president running for presidency of a country. You need to win over votes. And I think the easy thing to win over fans is bringing Xavi, because it's what everyone's screaming for. I mean, every manager, ever since Guardiola was there, has been questioned. They've not really given them the time of day. Even Ernesto Valverde, who did so brilliantly, won Liga titles, they weren't happy with him. Obviously, they weren't happy with Quique Setién afterwards. So if Xavi doesn't end up arriving, as you say, I think Sergi Bergwijn would end up just being a patch until Xavi does arrive. I think the end goal is for Xavi to end up being the manager of Football Club Barcelona. Unfortunately for Sergi, I don't think he will end up taking that job. And I don't think he believes, or maybe he doesn't even want to take that job. I think he's comfortable there working in the academy. It's a stable job. So I think he'll just be in until Xavi arrives.
All right. Whoever is at the helm, whoever is the manager, what is the realistic expectation for this season for Barcelona? What's the realistic expectation? Whoever comes in is not a magician. There are a lot of losses on the table, injuries to deal with, some of the new players struggling. So what are the expectations? Whoever is it that takes the helm?
I think the most realistic thing and the most important thing for Barcelona is just to reassure that they qualify for the Champions League again next season. That's really where they are right now. They can't afford financially not to be playing in the Champions League next season, and it's no guarantee. I think you've definitely got Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid finishing above them in the table this season. Then we'll see the other two positions that there are teams out there now like Real Sociedad that I think will drop points. I think Sevilla have also got a bit more firepower to them. I think they'll finish above them. So it's really a battle to try and finish in the top four. Make sure you're in the Champions League again next season as well. When it comes to recruiting players, it's not the same trying to get someone over when you're playing in the Europa League than if you're playing in the Champions League. So for them really now, and it's quite sort of heartbreaking, isn't it, for the fans to say, but the reality is of the club right now that it's damage limitations. It's qualify for the Champions League. Even in the Champions League right now, it's that they need to try and qualify for the next round, and that's not a given either. You know, they've dug themselves into a little bit of a hole after their defeats against Bayern Munich and Benfica. So, yeah, as I say, top four is what they need to aim for, and I think it's the most they can aim for this year.
All right, one more from me before I, get back to Austin. The question on everyone's lips is, even if you get Xavi, even if you get a couple of good players, will that take away the attention from the board, from the mistakes they've made, from the failed promises? A lot of people who would want to defend Ronald Koeman, for instance, will tell you that Laporta made it clear. It was clear from his body language. For he never wanted Ronald Koeman. He believes Ronald Koeman was a handoff from the whole board. So he never wanted him. So this board has made their mistakes too. But whatever they do, will it take the focus away from them?
Yeah, and I think, as you say, a big part of the decision is from Laporta trying to break away with everything that has anything to do with the previous board, anything that smells or has that touch of Josep Maria Bartomeu, who is lauded in Barcelona as the worst ever president in the history of the club. So bringing in Xavi, will it take the focus off the board? I think initially it will. I think initially it's something, they've been so hungry for something to get excited about at Barcelona for a long time, because it has been a couple of years of just negativity. The comebacks in the Champions League, the Messi, is he leaving, is he not leaving? They're dying for a little bit of good news up there in Barcelona. And I think Xavi coming in would definitely have that sort of anesthetic effect. Then obviously you need to back it up with results, because anesthetics wear off. But I do think that it's as I say, a popular move with the fans that will take the heat off the board. And if it works out well, if they, most importantly, if they play the brand of football that they like in Barcelona, then that will definitely take the heat off the board. That's the main thing in Barcelona. It's the style. That's why they didn't like Koeman either. The fans didn't really take to him. They love their 4-3-3. They like having possession of the ball. They like it being attractive. And with Koeman, a lot of the times, it wasn't that, It was a lot of 5-3-2, target man with Luc de Jong or Martin Braithwaite. So I think if Xavi comes in and he gets them playing that football, then for a while at least, that will definitely have the fans silent. But of course, at a club like Barcelona, if there are no results, if there are no titles after a certain period of time, then the fingers will start pointing again at Laporta and his board.
Bruno, let's end this conversation with discussion about the La Liga proper. Let's leave Barcelona and their many problems for them to solve it. No Messi again, no Ronaldo in the La Liga. Are we still getting the same vibes without those two great players?
Well, it's definitely a massive blow, isn't it? They were possibly two of the best players we've ever seen in the history of the game, and those Clásicos were incredible. When it was Ronaldo at the peak of his powers against Messi at the peak of his powers. If you look at the last Clásico, there was something missing there. It was the first one for over, how long has it been? Almost 20 years or so. Yeah, almost 20 years without Messi in it, and you could see there was something missing there. And obviously for La Liga, it's something that worries the competition, the fact that the Premier League is growing and growing and all the big names are going there. And, it is that worry of falling behind. But what I will say for La Liga is the thing that's always been done well in Spain is bringing through young players, giving them chances. It's not always about signing the big players and not giving a chance to players to progress here. So I'm sure that clubs will continue to produce exciting talent. It'll be difficult, definitely, for us to see, a Messi against Ronaldo again, and that Real Madrid and that football club Barcelona. But, the challenge is there. The Premier League has set the bar up there, and it's up for La Liga to try and, follow and not fall too far behind.
I totally agree. I must say thank you so much, Bruno, for your time on the show tonight. Always a delight. I will make time to bring you again on the show. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much to all of you for having me.
So that's it, Bruno Gareche, sports journalist with La Liga TV. Barcelona and their many problems. We've been trying to understand it, and of course what's going on with right there in the La Liga. We'll go on this quick break. When we come back, the sacking of Ronald Koeman, is it a question of you being surprised, or you even asking questions? Why did Barcelona take so long before they told him to leave? Bolo Money is in our Lagos studio. You answer those questions and we'll come back, so don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're analyzing what's going on right there at Barcelona Football Club Spain. We just finished having a robust conversation with La Liga TV sports journalist Bruno Gareche, and he broke down everything that is happening right there in Spain for us. Let's go back to our Lagos studio. Bolu Omoni has been listening. Bolu, I asked a question before we went on that break. Was it a question of, oh, you're surprised? Or are you part of those who said, wait a minute, why did Barcelona leave it so long?
Well, I think many thought he was going to leave last season. Then there was a vote of confidence message or report that says, well, he will remain as a coach on one condition. If he goes back to playing 4-3-3, play this way, like Bruno was saying, Barcelona way, irrespective of what happened. Play Barcelona way. Then suddenly, the first two games, we were seeing 4-3-3. He just switched back to 4-2-3-1, 5-3-2. Then questions started asking, is this what we want? But everyone believed because of the financial problems, they will not sack him. Because if you sack him, you are paying 12.5 million. That 12.5, you add it to a certain amount of money, you can get the signing they want. Unfortunately, they had to let him go. I said before the Vallecano game that Barcelona are poor this, but I still don't think they would not beat a Vallecano. I thought they would bounce back against Rayo Vallecano. But fortunately, the experience of Falcao was enough for them to lose that game. And after then the reports came after Koeman was leaving the field. They looked back at the grass and felt, well, maybe this is the last time. I'm sure Koeman himself will be surprised. But it was definitely coming. He's had issues with the board. He's had issues with the fans, especially with the young Ricky Pig. Anyone that comes to Barcelona, Koeman will make it clear. Ricky Pig is behind him. And I believe it may not be all that, but I still think that boy would have added his own part. There are lots of young guys in the squad, but the big question is, will everyone wait for all these guys to be matured enough to move in? Because Barcelona always have maybe one or two young players joining the fold. But this time around, having about six, there's Keita Balde, Nico, Pedri, the young Demer they brought in. There's also Xavi, 17-year-old, and Ricky Pig, about 7 young players. Will these guys build the core of the squad? I don't think so. Will they have enough patience for them? Bruno said the biggest expectation for them should be try to make the Champions League, which is a tough task. Now about 4 teams are on 21 points in La Liga right now. Real Sociedad is above just by 4 points. Everyone is fighting hard. To a level, it feels, yes, still early days, but we are almost on the same level. And despite 5, 6, 7 teams being on the same level, Barcelona are way behind them. They have Sevilla to play as their outstanding match. It's difficult for them. So I think it was coming. Koeman himself would definitely be expecting, well, with all this result, if you listen to everything he says to the press, today we'll say, well, we don't have the players. Tomorrow we lost category. Yes, it's... So even with his reaction, it was more like he was calling for it. Okay, well, sack me, but you pay me off. Like they say, if you sack a coach, he may feel sad, but he wipe his eyes with the pounds, with the millions of dollars. Well, I'm going, but something is definitely going to the bank.
Well, he's no more the coach of Barcelona. And I mean, for you and I, in the middle, we know that coaches are hired to be fired. So we will just be here to talk about whoever is hired and whoever gets fired. So I think we should just leave that conversation for now, get on with the program. Let's still talk about what's going down with football. What's Budweiser doing to make football interesting? I'll tell you, English Premier League and Spanish La Liga sponsor Budweiser, they're set to feature international football kings. Who are they? Look at them right there. John Terry and Roberto Carlos. In a new football-themed campaign, they've tagged Budweiser Game of Kings. For the first time in Nigeria, EPL and La Liga kings of football would engage in a football game alongside the best of the Nigeria Professional Football League players. Wouldn't that be interesting? We can't wait. They've made the announcement that this is coming and we are getting ready for this event being put together by Budweiser. And they revealed this in a forum to inform journalists. The marketing director, International Breweries PLC, Tolulope Adedeji, has explained that the premium brand seeks to give millions of football lovers who double as beer lovers in Nigeria a unique experience that will stay with them for a long long time. Adedeji noted that fans will get a chance to call the shots by assuming the coveted role of manager. So imagine you being a manager and you're telling John Terry, legend, Roberto Carlos, another legend, what to do on the field of play. You're going to assemble, as these fans will assemble their individual teams when they visit this website, www.budweiser.com/Game of Kings. budweiser.com.ng/Game of Kings. So if you want to be part of this initiative, just go to the website and follow the instructions. The consumers can participate by entering the unique code under the Budweiser Crown Cork on the website or texting the code to 7827. Text the code to the USSD 7827. Consumers stand a chance to be selected either as team managers or get VIP invites to watch the match live in Lagos, Nigeria. If you're selected as team manager, the fans will be able to choose from a list of players in the different clubs of the Nigeria Professional Football League to form their first 11 team players who will feature as teammates to John Terry and Roberto Carlos during the live match. The selected managers will also be sponsored on an all-expense-paid trip to watch a live English Premier League match. But please note the terms and conditions apply. The Budweiser Game of Kings campaign will run from October to November 2021 and is only open to individuals who are 18 years and over. Budweiser is produced by International Breweries PLC, a proud member of the AB InBev, the world's largest brewery with over 400 beer brands globally. So there you have it, the Budweiser Game of Kings. So if you want to be part of this one, just go to the website budweiser.com.ng/Game of Kings. I'll be part of this. All right, Yemi, let's get on with the show.
All right, so let's move on. There's a temptation to talk about Ronald Koeman, but you've told us to leave it, so we're going to leave it and we're going to move on. We're going to move on. I was going to say something, but no, I'll resist the temptation. I'll not say anything. Let's talk about the Super Falcons. Yeah, I have to let it go. Let's talk about the Super Falcons now, Austin, and it's been confirmed that the dates for the first and second leg of the encounter with the Lady Elephants, that's when that's the next hurdle for the Falcons. You should expect the Falcons to get past that hurdle, but if you remember what the Ivorians did to us recently, not allowing us to get to the Olympics, you might have to be a bit cautious. But the dates, February 14 to 17, around that period, the first leg, and of course 18 to 23, the return leg will hold. Before I get to Bolu, everybody is saying it. I don't know if the authorities are listening. The gap is closing real fast. The gap is closing real fast. And we're seeing some African countries with real development plans. And it's showing. It's showing when you see the way they play Nigeria. I mean, some will say South Africa beating Nigeria is a one-off. It's not the scoreline. It's what we saw. And it looks like it might be like that for a long time to come if we don't do the right thing.
So it is, and I'm glad that the Nigeria Football Federation, they can see it, but we need to go beyond talks, because the last talk we heard from the NFF is that they're going to rejig. Was that not what we heard? That they will rejig the team, and we know when they say that, of course, they want to do some input here and there, but what we're saying is, enough of the talks, and let's start seeing action, because I agree with you that the gap is closing. And Bolu, whether or not you like it, if you don't do the right things, the persons who are working will definitely get the results.
Well, there's a general saying, if you don't plan well, you plan to fail. If you don't plan to succeed, you are definitely planning to fail. And the challenge is, we are big enough, we are good enough, we have all the superstars. We have one of the greatest African female players of all time. We have some of the best squad. We have a 38-year-old who scored a hat-trick as a defender and everything. But that doesn't count for anything if you don't play as a team. People that follow football very well will tell you, if you have a squad of average players, if they play together for a while and play as a team, they will likely beat a team of superstars. And that's the challenge. Like Yemi was saying, anyone who saw our game against Ghana would know that it's not about the scoreline. The performance in both legs, it was all about Ghana. They outplayed us so much that even their coach Mercy had to come out and say, well, our players were more intelligent than the Falcons. And there was no lie there. They took charge of the midfield. It was all about them. We may have individual brilliance. Assistants that have not scored for a while, she may just step up against Ivory Coast and score a hat-trick. But if the performance is not there, I've said it over time. I think the worst Falcons team I've seen was under Thomas Deneby, but it feels like Randy Waldrum is challenging Deneby for that. Now, I don't. At least under Deneby, we know they play route one, just sending the ball, let us chase down the ball. Now we don't even know. Deneby, Waldrum has so much played many of our players off position. I saw Tony Payne played as a central midfielder. I saw Alozie was a brilliant winger playing as a right back. We see Asisa Toshala playing sometimes as a central midfielder. The team looks scattered. I think it's more like, oh, guys, 11, oh, enter the field and play whatever you want. There's no identity for the Falcons. They are not catching up with the Falcons. They are already on the same pedestal with the Falcons. When last did we qualify for the Olympic Games? That's the most important question. This same team, when we lost to Ivory Coast, there were children that came to play. These were kids. The South African Games, they were kids. Height for height, man for man, we were older, everything, but they knew the rudiments of sport. Sometimes you need to go back to the basic. It's not about the superstar alone. If you do the basic thing, Guardiola's team may not be so fantastic, but when they knock the hell, the strength, everything you have, you think these are all world stars. We say it all the time. Sir Alex Ferguson made average players look great. Why? Because they did the basic things. Everyone now, they are moving on, they believe we can beat the Falcons. Yes, we have Asisa Toshala, but they will tell you beyond Asisa, what else do you have? They can challenge us if we don't do the right things, if we don't prepare well, if we don't plan well. Sometimes I look at our squad, if we pick players from Robo Queens, Rivers Angels, Abesa, we should do enough to win every tournament on the continent. But unfortunately, even all the superstars, we don't perform well. The big question is it what the coach trains them to do? Or these women or ladies are tired of playing for the national team. If they are tired, well, they can remain at their club size and let's move on. We are waiting to see what their rejig is about. Is it changing the board? Is it changing the coaching crew? Is it sacking the coach? Randy Waldrum said he has a 10-year plan for the Falcons. Whatever that means is between himself and the NFF. But what does that rejig entail? Is it that they want to change many of... Because they just told us rejig and left. No. They've left off with so many questions. Let them answer this one. What does your rejig entail? Are you changing people or what?
Bolu,
yeah.
Fans have always raised this concern of Randy Waldrum playing old players. He says, don't call them old players, say experienced players. Could that be the issue? Because I thought football is all about current form, and if maybe is still playing good football, what's wrong with that being in the team?
Well, current form is important, experience is important with national team, but the big question is the supposed players that people are saying tryouts. Are they performing better? For example, Monday Gift has shown that I think I have what it takes to be playing regularly in the Falcons team. Irrespective of what I play, I may be in Nigeria, I may be abroad, but I have what it takes. Many of the foreign-based players who have all the experience in the national team, sometimes, especially in friendly games, that's the best. If you don't try out new players in friendly, there's no opportunity for them in competitive games. And I think that's where one of the challenges we have with Waldrum and same with General. Sometimes when you are playing games that will cost you nothing, try out some of the new players are bringing in. That's when we can know if so and so have what it takes to play. Uche Nakano played local competition. That's why we say, oh, this girl is good enough. But unfortunately, she's still yet to break into the national team. If we don't try out some of these players, we won't learn, we won't move forward. If they are, a 38-year-old footballer is old. Or no, maybe he's, I think, 38 or 39. Rita Chikwelu is hitting at mid-30s. Sometimes let's try new players in friendly games. From there, we will know if they are good enough to make competition. No matter what happens, I was happy Okpara Nose is back to the score, but she will not give 100% in every game. I think it is the job of the Mandia to know the game that she's not fit enough to play this game. Yeah. Let her sit down. Let's try new players. Or else, come Randy Waldrum's 10-year plan. Come 2030, we'll still be hitting out Asisa Toshala. We'll still be hitting out Francisco Odega, probably or no maybe. We need to start trying out new players and see if we can move forward from there.
Bolu, calm down. We know the job of a coach is very difficult. Yeah, let's take a critical look at this. If Randy Waldrum drops as Onoma Ebi now, drops Rita Chikelu, Desire Faranaze is not there, let's say even Francisco Odega is missing, and we go to pick players from Edo Queens or maybe Bayelsa Queens to play a game and they don't win. these same fans, you know the story, will come up and say, where are those experienced players? So they must just find a way to, make a balance and make the Super Falcons formidable again.
You see, when we want to solve the problem, let's leave emotional reaction to losses aside. I don't even have a problem with Randy Waldrum. I don't. It might surprise you. Look, what is our identity? This problem is not just with the ladies, with the guys as well. And my anger or my dissatisfaction is with the administrators of the game. There are questions, Bula said, there are questions that need to be answered. Look, I'll give you an example. If we start mentioning countries abroad, people say, oh no, you're taking it too far. No matter who plays for France, no matter who plays, or those big countries, no matter who plays, there is an identity. Somebody who is playing his first game comes into a team and it looks like he's been there for ages because there's a system. That's what we don't have.
Football science.
Yes, that's what we don't have. And it's not just about the ladies, even the guys.
That's what Amaju has been saying, the scientific side of football. That's what the NFF has been saying.
I'm amused that you brought that up. And I won't take the bait. I won't. But I'm just saying, those in charge know what to do. And we should do it. I agree with you that there will always be emotional reactions when we don't get the results. But beyond the emotional reaction, if you're going in the right direction, people will be satisfied. For instance, I was a young boy in 1990. Algeria beat us twice at the Nations Cup in 1990. Most people didn't like the fact that we were beaten, but they also recognized that this man is building something. And by the time we got to Senegal in 92, it was clear we were onto something. And it didn't come as any surprise in 94, the things that we achieved. You understand? So if those losses come and people see that, oh, you're on track, they might not like the loss, but they'll get over the emotional reaction and like, oh, you're doing the right thing. But look, you're playing players. I don't know why we're always concerned about the now. That's my problem. We're concerned about now.
You just highlighted that we had continuity back in the day. So there was a game plan that, was structured and was followed through. Maybe if we had allowed Thomas Dennerby, to continue, he would have gone to, where he wants to go with this team. But hey, it's football where anything can happen. Let's not do anybody's job tonight. It's just...
yeah, we got to move on.
The Super Falcons are the best.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. All right, we're coming to your neck of the woods, but I'm going to ask Bolu a question. I talked about Anthony Joshua. As a matter of fact, we're going to go on a break in a minute or two. I talked about Anthony Joshua, and I said, I like the way he's reacted. I like the way it's gone about after that loss. Congratulated the guy who defeated him, shook hands, took pictures, and he's been talking about changing something, changing coaches. And it shocked me today when I heard that he said, look, once I'm done with Usyk, I'm ready for Wilder. If that's what the fans want, I'm ready to give it to them. Bolu, before we go on that break, I told somebody jokingly, I said, it's only Tyson Fury that can take that punch and stand up, that Wilder punch.
Well, I say it all the time, almost every intelligent boxer should do enough to beat Wilder because Wilder is one of the most loose boxers. He believes in his power punch, but just like the power punch will hit you. But so I believe he has what it takes against a Wilder. He knows. That's why he's talking about Wilder. I've said it from the... I don't want to see Joshua Fury. That will probably be a batter. Fury should do enough to wreck AJ. Because Fury has a belt, so why is he talking about Wilder? Now he says he doesn't mind sparring with Fury. I'm surprised he still wants to keep his trainer, but he will likely change his coach.
Make some additions.
Make some addition. Having a Fury as part of your sparring partner.
But I think that's a joke. I think it's just a joke.
I'm sure I wouldn't mind Fury joining him. If you can't learn from Fury, I don't think you can learn from anyone. He's ready, prepared for everything for that Usyk fight. Let's see what happens first, if he will be enough to win that.
Let's see the quotes from Anthony Joshua so that we can just put it in perspective. And what you have on your screen is what he said. He said, if the fans can't see, I would take the fights with the fighters like Wilder in a heartbeat. That's what Joshua is saying. He says, and I want people to know that I will fight anyone in their prime or anytime. Give me a mandatory and I will fight anyone. I love the game and will fight anyone. But would I fight Wilder? Yes, I would. He's confirming it. So Anthony Joshua, former WBA, WBO, IBF, and IBO heavyweight champion. He has his eyes on the belts that Usyk has taken, and he feels if he wins the rematch, then we can start talking about him against Wilder. Talks about Fury getting in his corner. We don't know how serious that it is. Tyson Fury has offered to coach him for free, and he has also said Tyson Fury is welcome. But I think they're playing with each other. Let me just quickly go back to Austin. We have a few minutes left on the show, and your thoughts. I'm very sure you've read. And Bolu says he appears like Anthony Joshua is taking Tyson Fury seriously with his offer to her. But I think both boxers are just playing with each other.
Yeah, me first. You before the break, you said, "What have I been hearing?" Let me tell you what I've been hearing. The fans, when he lost to Usyk, majority of his fans, Anthony Joshua fans, became hardened critics because that loss to Usyk was very painful, you know. And I love the fact that it's getting to the former champ also, and that's why he said he's done losing. What am I hearing? I know words from the street says he has insisted rather that he will not split from his longtime coach, Coach Rob McCracken, but he wants to get other inputs. He wants to, for instance, he's been chilling in the United States with Ronnie Shields, who comes with so much boxing experience. By the way, Ronnie Shields is also the trainer of Nigeria's cruiserweight boxer, Ifetobo Akpochi. Ife Ajagba was under him before also, so Ifetobo Akpochi has been hanging out with Anthony Joshua also. But there's just something about Anthony Joshua and the two fights that he has lost. He has lost to smaller guys. So now I love this new mentality, and he's even talking about Deontay Wilder. So let's wait to see what the rematch with Usyk will bring. Then after that, we'll know if this is all talks or we've seen a new Anthony Joshua. But all I can tell you is I know what he's feeling. That loss to Usyk hurt so bad. I was right there at White Hart Lane when Usyk was announced the winner. Everyone that came out to support. In fact, 95% of the people at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium came out for Anthony Joshua. So it's very painful. We just hope that he'll pick himself back up and assure that he is still the champ that we know him to be.
All right, before Bolu responds to what you've just said, let me throw this to you quickly. If, I don't want it to happen, I have a soft spot for him as a Nigerian. If he doesn't win the rematch, the route back to being heavyweight champion, how easy or difficult do you think it would be?
Extremely difficult, Yemi. Extremely. If he doesn't win that rematch, he might just be pushed down that order because, I mean, guys are fighting so well. Don't even talk about the big guys I don't know. The Joseph Parkers, even
Dillian
White,
Otto Wallen.
Yeah, put Ruiz also in the mix. People are fighting. The heavyweight division is highly competitive. So for Anthony Joshua to keep his relevance, he must beat Usyk, get his belt back so that negotiations for bigger fights can come. You know, I'd like to see him fight Deontay Wilder, but he will need to really, really prepare because right now the sort of vengeance in Deontay Wilder is beyond boxing. That he lost that belt to a British fighter. So imagine if not that Anthony Joshua lost to the Ukrainian boxer, the heavyweight belts, all of the belts, would have been with us right here in the UK, and that's what we wanted.
Okay, all right. You'll have to wait though. Let me just quickly allow Bolu say a thing or two as we prepare to wrap things up. Bolu, how difficult is it going to be for Anthony? He's trying to change a lot of things, but he has to be brutal. It appears to me, it doesn't look like he can outbox Usyk. So he has to find a way to decide it by himself. He has to be brutal. And he says he's done losing anyway.
Well, remember his rematch with Andy Ruiz. He needed points for that. But going by points, I don't think, like Rice said, he would outbox Usyk. The best thing is he has to go for his knockout. And that means he has to go back to his uppercuts, the double uppercut, his hard punch. I don't think he threw his right hand up to 3 times in that fight again. He will need that right hand, and it has to be a perfect time because Usyk looks like someone that, yeah, let's go by points.
His content,
if you
yeah,
go
that was
for
his strategy.
100 rounds, it was ready that I would outbox you. So
Yeah.
AJ needs to probably go for his power punch. All his double uppercut need to be worked this time. His power right hand need to work this time. Because I don't think if he goes to 12 rounds again, I don't think he would outbox that guy. So the best thing for AJ now, he needs to look for a trainer that will help him with his power punch.
Wilder, if he returns from the hospital, quick one, if he returns from the hospital, will he still be a force?
Which if AJ should lose, the whole of them can fight. So I since 2 losers. So if AJ wins, I don't think fighting Wilder should be the way because what is he fighting for? Nothing.
Okay. Even Austin is surprised at what you have said. All right, that's a good place to leave it on the show tonight. But I want to thank first I want to thank Bolu Omoni for his time on the show tonight. Bolu, thank you very much. We'll do this again some other time.
Sure, always good being around.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. Time not always our friend when we're doing this. We've had so much fun. We hope you did too as well. We're back here again tomorrow to take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adubar. Bye-bye now.
That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. And everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.